Hello and welcome to another episode of PowerDrift Simplified, where we take an automotive concept and break it down into something that you can use directly. And today we're talking about what the numbers on the side of your tires mean. Now, back in the day when there were cross-ply tires, the numbers were quite simple. It said 2.75 into 17 or something like that, and that was not really hard to comprehend. But today it says on a car, for example, 205 55 R17, on a motorcycle 190 55 R17. What do these numbers really mean? Well, let's break it down. The 200 number, the first number, is actually the width of your tread in millimeters. So a 205 is a 20.5 centimeter wide tread section. The second number, the 70, the 60, the 55, is a percentage which tells you the height of the sidewall as a percentage of the tread width. Okay, just to make this easier, if you were to see a tire that says say 190 117, it would mean that the tread width is 190 and the sidewall is also 190, 100% of 190. Obviously nobody makes that tire. What you're more likely to get, for example, is 250, which means 200 millimeters is the width of your tread, and 50% of that, which is 100 millimeters, is the height of your sidewall. Why is this important? Because the lower the sidewall is, the sportier the tire is. The sportier the tire is, the ride quality will be harder, but the responses when you're trying to corner this car will be much stronger. On a motorcycle, the sidewall has a slightly different function. You do have stiff and soft sidewalls which feel different. So if you were to take, for example, the Pirelli Angel GT2 and the Michelin Road 5, the Angel GT has definitely softer sidewalls and the tire feels like it squishes a little bit more. So it is a nicer tire to ride in terms of ride quality, but the Road 5 feels like it turns into corners better because the sidewall doesn't absorb the forces that you're putting in to turn the motorcycle. Alright, cruisers will generally have larger sidewalls, so 70s, 80s will show up in cruisers. Generally sports bikes run in the 50-55 range. On the cars, again, the really small sidewalls are what the sporty cars use. Larger sidewalls is what you'd use in a country like India, where road conditions are unpredictable and the tire needs to take on the load of protecting the rim from damage as well. Do remember that both on motorcycles and cars, choosing a very different sidewall height from what the manufacturer recommends will dramatically change how your car feels to drive and ride. Similarly for motorcycles, so it's not a small decision to make. Then comes the number R, and the number R only means that it's a radial. It is not used for any other purpose at all. If it does not have the R but it has numbers that look like this, the tire simply isn't a radial. And the last one, of course, the 17, the 16, the 15, is just the diameter of the rim on which this tire is going to sit. So again, when you change a rim, if you go from a 17-inch rim to an 18-inch rim on a car, you are obviously going to have to find R18 tires for that. And that's the only reason why that big diameter number is there. But there are a couple of numbers after that which are also quite important. After this, usually you'll see a number that says something like 56 or 78, and that's the load rating of the tire. We're going to put a table here with the load rating so you can get a sense of what the tire loads are. But just for our understanding, the load rating of the tire tells you how much weight this tire will carry easily, and generally that is classified into heavy duty tires and light duty tires. So if you're going to take a sports bike, generally you'll want a light duty tire because you're not going to put a lot of load on it, you're going to put a lot of performance through it, and we'll come to that. But a higher heavy duty tire is what you'd use for touring, where you want a lot of mileage out of the thing. The bike might have a pillion and luggage constantly, and that's how it's played. There are tires, I think, like the Road 5, like the Pirelli Angel GT2, which have a highway version of the tire and a sportier version of the tire, where the primary difference is the load rating. So you get a lighter tire which will last less but give you more performance, and a heavier tire that will last longer but take away performance a little bit. And remember, in tires at least, this is always true, it's always a trade-off. The more performance you want, the less life you'll get out of the tire, is how tire technology works today. There is no other way around it. So if you want a motorcycle that's super sporty, you're going to have to give up tire life. If you want lots of tire life, you can get some very good touring tires today, but it's not going to be as great as an out-and-out sports tire. After that, usually is an alphabet. And that alphabet is really important because that is the speed rating of the tire. Now, some of the higher speed ratings are clubbed together and billed as ZR together. But basically, what we see a lot are P-rated tires. And I'll put another table here which tells you the speed rating tables. You'll see a lot of P, W, and H-rated tires in Indian motorcycles in the KTM class where performance is crucial. And it tells you that the tire is safe up to a certain speed. Okay, so that's 160 kilometers, 180 kilometers. Once it gets past 200 kilometers, you're in a rarefied area of space where all the tires are high performance tires, which is why they're clubbed together as ZR. So that's what it says on the side of the tire. The first number is the tread width in millimeters. The second number is the height of the sidewall as a percentage of the tread width. The R denotes the fact that it's a radial. The 17 denotes the diameter of the rim. After that comes a number which is the load rating, and after that comes the speed rating, which is usually an alphabet like P, Q, W, H, etc. That's all it is. These are the numbers on the side of the tire that you need to pay attention to. If you are buying tires though, there is another number on the sidewall that you should pay attention to. It's usually a 4-digit number that looks like 1922, which means it was made in the 19th week of 2022. Generally, tires can be stored quite safely up to 5 years, and when you put them on the car or the motorcycle, they work quite well. But the older the tire is, the chances that there will be an age-related problem get higher. So you want a number as close to the present day as possible. So if I were buying a tire today, I would want a number that definitely ends in 21, which is it was made in this year. Whether it was in week 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever the week is right now is not really that crucial to the process. But if I were to see a number that says, I don't know, say 5116, which means it was built 1 week before 2016 ended, I'd probably think about not buying that tire because it's more than 5 years old at that point. Thank you so much for watching. This is PowerDrift Simplified, where we take automotive concepts, break them down into bite-sized pieces that you can digest. If you loved this, please share it with your friends, like the video, do subscribe to PowerDrift and hit the bell notification icon because India's best automotive content is right here. And if there's any topic that you'd specifically like us to take on Simplified, do leave us a comment. My name is Shumi. Thank you so much for watching.